Alright, here we are in our next match. This hand's a little slow, but I think since we're on the draw, I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Signal Pest being our best threat is not ideal, but there are definitely worse hands, and I really hate to mulligan. This looks like we're playing against Burton. In which case, I'm happy to have kept Etch Champion, Ornithopter. Ornithopter's going to be a free blocker here. Alright, and we get another land for our troubles. Not bad. And we draw into yet another land, so not great. I think I'm going to go ahead and play my Vault Scourge. If my opponent's interested in bolting it, that's fine with me. That's 3 damage he saves to my face. Although I guess he really only saves 1 point because I spent 2 to cast him. I'm expecting an attack from the Goblin Guide. We'll probably block it with... Ooh, double Goblin Guide. That's dicey. Triple Goblin Guide. This is not good. My opponent has had a very good start. I need to... Okay, I'm drawing Mox Opal. Let's see, if I draw Mox Opal, I think I'm okay. So... If I block... Yeah, I can afford to block. This is kind of scary. My opponent may just win because I'm unable to answer any of this. So let's go ahead and play Dark Steel, a Mox Opal, and it's going to have to be the Etched here. Now, do I want to attack with my Vault Scourge? I think the answer is yes, because I'm not really interested in losing him. I want to attack, and I'll still take 4 damage next turn, but if my opponent can just kill it and leave me behind a blocker, and I really don't want that either. So next turn I can play my Inkmoth Nexus, not play anything, and be able to make it a 2/2 to trade with a Goblin Guide. Alright, Swift Spear is kind of scary. Arcbound is good. That's actually very good. My opponent has 2 cards in hand. Let's say it's double Bolt, deals 6 to me. I take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I have to block the Monastery's Swift Spear. Alright, good. It just goes ahead and dies. So my plan next turn is to sack some stuff to put onto the Vault Scourge so I can start gaining some life. Although my opponent not... This is going to be a little tricky. I would like to sacrifice things to put onto this Vault Scourge, but I think what I'm going to do instead is just block with Arcbound and just let it die. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe not let it die. I don't really need these man lands. Or these really dark steel. No, maybe the man lands. I'm not sure. There is a combination of cards I lose to here. If it's double Boros Charm, I will definitely lose. So I really just need to sort of fade this next turn. Ooh, I bet my opponent does have a Boros Charm. In that case, I wonder why he didn't choose to save his other creature. Save his monster, Swift Spear. Alright, well, this is vaguely terrifying. So let's play another Inkmoth. Let's tap it for this. I think I am going to try and put some counters onto my Vault Scourge. I feel like my opponent would have killed it by now if he could have. This also doesn't even really leave me down a blocker, because I'll still have 2 mana to animate for these Nexi. But I just need to gain some life here. I feel like if my opponent had a burn spell, he would have either killed me or he would have destroyed this. Okay, well, sad, but not the end of the world. Like I said, I still have the blockers. I may not be able to win the game now. It might have been a little presumptuous of me. But really, I'm dead if my opponent has anything, so... yeah, Eidolon's great. So what I think I'm actually going to do is... alright, Springleaf Drum. So there's basically no relief coming. Let's go ahead and animate one. I'd like to kill one of these Goblin Guides if I can. Then I'll go to 2, which is really bad, but I feel like I've basically lost this game anyway, so... I'll have to fade a lot of burn spells to win this one. I do think things get... well, now, and I also now can't play any spells any longer, so that probably was not the wisest decision. But maybe I can win on the Infect plan. That's going to be my plan here anyway. I'm dead to anything but land. So do this, leave back 2 blockers. It's not a good plan, but it is a plan. And I guess an argument could be made that if I hadn't gotten rid of that Goblin Guide, I would just be getting beat down. Alright, Burn Spell? Yeah, it must be. Yeah, Lava Spike. Alright, let's go ahead and concede. So maybe going in on the Vault Scourge was maybe that was the wrong time to do that. But let's see. Whip Flare should be good. Ethersworn might be good. I think I'd rather go ahead and just play some more spot removal. In fact, not the dispatches. I want to play the Galvanic Blasts. Let's take out the Still Overseer. Let's take out a Plains. Let's take out a Tempered Steel, because I think Tempered Steel is a little slow. Alright, let's try this out. Oh, yes, we will be on the play. This hand is fine. It's got Cranial and Etched. No life gain, but can't have it all, I suppose. So there's actually no reason to play this Midnight on our first... well, actually there is. I guess if I need a blocker. I'm actually not going to play the Midnight right now. I'm going to wait till next turn so that my opponent can't bolt it. And so I can play this S-Champion without my Midnight dying. Well, my opponent just had a Goblin Guy, but I wasn't going to block anyway. Ooh, second Cranial, okay. Not bad. Let's go Ink Moth, Midnight. Etched. Unfortunately, still can't really block with the Etched. If my opponent has a burn spell, he can just get rid of the Midnight, and then Etched Champion no longer is pro colors. So I think I am going to take another 2 off this Goblin Guide. Yeah, I'm not going to block here. So I'd rather just take 3 than lose my Etched. Again with the plethora of man lands. So now we're in a race, and I think this is a race I can win. Now I no longer need the Midnight either. Yeah, my opponent did have a Bolt. He's doing it on my turn though, so he must have more burn spells in hand. This turn I will be blocking probably the Swift Spear. No, probably the Goblin Guide. Man, just can't stop drawing these man lands. Let's go ahead and block the Goblin Guide, and that way my opponent uses a burn spell here, get one out of his hand. Lightning Helix. That's gonna hurt. Mox Opal. Man, just drawing a lot of mana this game. Let's see, 7. Can I win this turn? 12, 13, 14, 15. No, I would. Well, I actually didn't have it, but my opponent went ahead and conceded anyway. So that was awfully nice of him. But I actually did not have it that game. As much as it pains me to, I'm actually going to cut the other Tempered Steel in exchange for additional dispatch to deal with. My opponent seems to have a lot of creatures. Yeah, don't ever concede. I mean, unless your opponent is playing Splinter Twin or another sort of combo deck, and it's, you can't in Moto demonstrate that you have the combo. But if your opponent isn't playing a combo deck, I would say don't give it to them. I'm gonna keep this hand, and it's not the best, but it's got a dispatch. It's got some stuff going on for it. And my opponent has no turn 1 play, very surprising, and another Cranial like that. So let's dump our hand. And I am going to go ahead and take 2 damage off the Vault Scourge. If I draw into a Cranial, sorry, not Cranial, a Mox Opal, I'm going to want to play it and equip the Cranial. And no matter what, I want to play a Mox Opal next turn. So to me, it's worth going ahead and taking 2 damage here. If my opponent decides to bolt the Vault Scourge, that's fine. It just saves me some damage. And now we'll be able to play the Cranial. Okay, so my opponent must have some stuff going on here to do that. Eidolon, okay. That's going to be a pain in the butt. Yeah, we're going to have to take 4 damage off of this Eidolon, unfortunately. But just have to do it. Just think of it as a 4 damage burn spell. Think of it as a 2 mana Flames of the Blood hand, I suppose. But had to be done, unfortunately. What's really unfortunate is it sets me back a turn on my Cranial, which is not what I want. Bringing in Tapped. Is this another one? Okay, no, it's a Searing Blaze. Okay, perfect. Deploy our first cranial. Equip. 3's not a lot, but soon it will be 8 when I play the other one. My opponent has had kind of a slow hand this game. I do not currently want to trade off my Ornithopter. I'm more interested in racing. Lightning Helix. Lightning Helix me. That's fine. Now I kind of have to leave back the... Okay, Arcbound is good. It means I have a blocker. This is going to be a very close game, and I'm actually not sure I'm going to win at 6 life. I need basically for my opponent to have nothing. The last 2 cards in his hand to be land. But my plan here is to block the Swift Spear with the Ornithopter and sack it to Arcbound. Bolting me. Let's go ahead and sack this. So if my opponent has another bolt, he wins. Does he? Yeah, I think he just wins. I don't think... I think that I still take the damage from this Searing Blaze. Yeah, I do. Okay, so this is... I think normally this matchup we're a little favored to win, but just wasn't able to draw the right spells. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next game.